Hudson, the owner of Pinnacle of Men. And today we're going to talk about Joshua's story and what exactly is going on with him and his life and everything in regards to what he is doing with his business. Joshua, good morning. Give me, it looks like, I don't know. Look, there we go. Okay, it looks like we're live now. Okay, good. Yeah, good morning, Joshua. How are you, bud?
Good morning, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So my team looked at your stuff and they thought like, you'd be interesting to have on here as a guest. And I see that you're an American. Pretty interesting story. Put it in the description box as well. And I just thought that it would be nice to talk to you and just kind of to see what you're all about and just what's going on with you real quick. Before we get going, I just want to say something real quick to everybody. Don't forget, guys, that on May 27th on the Tokyo Crypto Show here at a special time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be having John McAfee, the creator of McAfee Antivirus. We're going to be talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, cybersecurity, and moving into the new digital era that we are slowly but surely heading into. Hit that subscribe button and come on down because May 27th, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, this upcoming Wednesday, we're going to be talking with Mr. John McAfee. Josh, so let's hear about it, man. So, you have a pretty compelling story. Like, what do you like to tell people you do, and what are you all about?
Yeah, man. So by training, I'm a licensed marriage family therapist in the state of California, basically just a licensed therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I started off like most guys as a compulsive, nice guy all throughout, beta male, if you would. I don't like that term, but yeah, like a nice guy, right? And bend over backwards for women. I remember one story in particular that kind of sticks out as like the peak of all this. This girl I had a crush on all throughout high school. I finally had the opportunity to like drive her to school for like 5 minutes, even though she could have walked. I was like, no, I could drive you, I could take you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was driving this girl in my car, right, for like 5-10 minutes each morning. And I was getting to know her and I was like, oh my gosh, she's liking me. And one morning I woke up late and I forgot to take her to school. And so I got the bright idea. I felt so sorry that in the middle of class, I ditched after lunch and I bought chocolate and a
Mm-hmm.
sorry card. And
Oh Lord.
I wrote down that I was so sorry that I didn't pick her up. And I thought it was the best idea ever.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl was liking me, right? We're about to like go out, we're like holding hands. And I hand her this chocolate, this card. And she was like, she thought I was like, oh, just something nice. She opens it up. And the look in her, I mean, if any guy can listen, like the look in that girl's eyes when she just instantly loses all attraction for you. And then like a week later, she started dating some like typical asshole bad guy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't get it. And I felt crushed. Anyways, this led to relationship after relationship with a girl that I just didn't even like to. I didn't want to be with. I was kind of settling. It led to
Mm-hmm.
shitty relationships, just fighting. And finally, after the second one in college, I'm like, why am I going after women that I know I don't want to be with? I feel like I deserve better. Like, what's preventing me? So that pain, really caused me to look down and study not only the kind of pickup side of things, right, the attraction tactics and all the things that work, but also
Mm-hmm.
like inner core beliefs, like deep psychological beliefs about who you are as a person. That's why I went to grad school
Yeah.
to become a therapist in the first place. And I learned so many things about like forming your identity, because your identity is the one thing that shapes what you do the most, how you identify
Mm-hmm.
yourself as a man.
Yeah.
And man, I used college as like a testing ground where I was just there for 8 years in grad school, just like going out. I was at a party school in Chico, California. It's Northern California. And man, I approached this like every day. I come from like every day I was on campus. I was like, I got to approach at least two girls before I go home every single day. Every weekend I was going out, and I just completely changed my life around, man.
What was your goal when you're approaching him? You trying to sleep with them the same day or what?
Well, the goal shifted, right? So at first it was just like, I just want to have a conversation with this girl, approach her and make eye contact. I couldn't make eye contact with girls my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually it's like, all right, cool. Then got her number. Okay, cool. Now let's try to make out. Now let's try to bring a girl home from campus. Let's try to go for a threesome tonight, right? So it always amplifies. It gets more and more as, you get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. How old are you?
I'm 31 now.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good time to be alive, man. 30s are great for us.
Oh yeah, it's a good time to be alive. I'm loving where I'm living.
So so in my history of like understanding guys who kind of subscribe to this nice guy basis, I believe that these guys typically they grow up in a really nice and sheltered household. Was that this case to you? Like you grew up in a pretty nice home, like everything was pretty stable growing up?
For the most part, I've also seen with a lot of my clients that because and I think Donald Glover wrote the book, the Nice Guy book, right?
No more
But
Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah.
yeah, but also I noticed like the fathers generally of a lot of these men. My father wasn't like this a little bit, but fathers tend to be kind of assholes, a-holes in a lot of way, and so the kids take the opposite approach of all this in a sense.
Interesting. So would you consider your dad like more alpha? I've seen that guys like who typically subscribe to this nice guy belief system, either the household is ran by the mother or it's a single mother household.
Yeah, either the father's absent, right, or the father's overbearing. Like those are the two, approaches I've seen. Because a lot of my clients are like, yeah, I didn't want to be anything like my dad, so I hate conflict and I hate, being mean like him, right? So
Hmm.
that's what I've seen. But
And so
I
who was like the breadwinner in your house? Was it a typical traditional household or?
both of my dad made more money than my mom. My mom made a lot of money too, so they both were gone the whole time making money, whatever. So, but
Mm,
yeah, it was very stable for the most part. And actually, the person that I wanted to be the opposite of was my older brother because he had a heart condition growing up, and so like it kind of messed him up. He was told he was going to die at 30. When you tell a
mm.
kid they're going to die at 30 years old, it kind of messes with their mind a little bit.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so every day he just, he took stuff out on me. He would always like emotionally abuse me and like try to beat me down. And so I took the opposite approach
Mm,
of him. Like I wanted to be the opposite of my brother, and he was the one that was kind of like the a-hole. So
interesting. That's yeah. So so your parents were like really non what did they do for a living, mom and dad?
oh, I mean, just typical white class job. My dad works at like a software company. My mom works for like giving out loans to like at banks to like new doctors that want to set up a practice. So
Oh, okay. So I
yeah.
mean, yeah. So you guys are probably like middle class, upper
middle
middle class.
middle class, yeah. Yeah, so
Wow. Yeah, I grew up with a single mom, and I was raised heavily
mm,
in the church, heavily in the church,
Catholic, Christian, what?
dude. Pentecostal.
Pentecostal, no shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it was savage, and like when you get into the church, like they kind of engineer you to be like more of a like like a slave. They engineer you to become like more of a follower than a leader. Like
Dude, bro, want to hear my biggest rationality for always being nice? Ready for this?
Mhm.
Was like, well, Jesus wouldn't be mean to these people, like stand up for himself. It's like, it's like, yeah, bro, yeah, I'm fucking Jesus, right? No, you know, it's like, oh, no.
Thank you so much to Mr. S. Thomas who just subscribed right now. So let's talk about like this big story you sent me. Like I asked you to send me like the kind of TLDR of
Right,
you,
right.
and it was you got involved in a relationship with a girl, and then she cheated on you, and you like wanted to figure it
Mm.
all out. I guess, right?
Yeah, I can go into that, man. It's whew. So basically, yeah, I'm in college, right? And I found my perfect 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm gonna marry this chick, right? I thought
Mm-hmm.
that she was the one, all that stuff, right? So gorgeous girl.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I'm sitting in my apartment, writing my thesis from a grad school, and she busts into the apartment like in the middle of the day, drunk as shit, like beelines to the bathroom and just slams the door. I'm like, what the fuck? So
Yikes.
I'm
She
like,
lived
what?
with you at the time?
No, she was
Oh,
just day drinking with her sorority girls, and she just busts into my apartment randomly and went straight to the bathroom. I'm like,
which
what?
sorority?
Oh my God, Delta Pi, I think.
Oh, okay. 80
Yeah.
pie
80
or
Pi, excuse me. Yes, 80 Pi.
80 pies are usually hot.
Yeah,
They're usually
yeah, they say that you bang alpha fees and you marry 80 pies, and that's kind of like that's like how it was, I guess. But anyway,
Oh,
so
that's funny.
I walk over to the bathroom, and I hear her on the phone with her best friend. She's like crying. I'm like knocking on the door. I'm like, what's going on, right? And just for a little bit of context, my first relationship in high school, I'm in the parking lot, and this girl that she left me for another guy. We got back together, and she left me for the same guy twice. And the second time it happened, I was in San Diego, of all places, in the parking lot. And she tells me,
Wow.
and I just thought to myself, like, what is wrong with me? What does this guy have better than me? Long story short, going back to the college apartment, I'm listening to her on the phone. Like, she's talking to her best friend, crying. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm knocking on the door. She's like, and she found out that I cheated on her. Right? She just found this out.
Hmm.
We cheated on each other, and she said, "Why am I not good enough for him? What's wrong with me?" She said the same exact words I said when I was in that apartment, like that, you know, my freshman year with my first girlfriend. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what, like, I'm tired of like cheating on girls and being cheated on, like all this, like, where's this coming from? And that was like what sent me to this idea of like trying to figure this out. So people go through so much. People get, man. I've counseled many married couples. I've seen the look of a man's eyes in a relationship with a woman after like 30 years, married with kids, doesn't even like the woman anymore, just struggling to like hold everything together. Then she divorces him, takes half the money. Like, I'm like, dude, I want to help so many men avoid that pain. And I
Yeah.
know so many men have gone through it. So
I mean, so let's talk about the cheating, right?
yeah.
So, how did you get busted? Was it social media? Social media always fucking snitching.
Uh, back then, back then, Instagram, I think, was just happening, so social media wasn't that big yet.
Mm-hmm.
Shows my age, right?
Yeah.
But man, how did you? I think I honestly told her, dude. Like, I was like, I couldn't hold it
Oh,
anymore, and
that's a simp move, bro. Come on.
yeah, I guess,
No, I'm just fucking giving you
yeah,
shit, dude. No, but like I honestly I cheat. Okay, so when I was 23, I had this girlfriend,
yeah,
and I didn't really have the balls to like tell her that like I didn't want to be with her because I thought she was a loser. So I just told her I was cheating. I just told her I cheated on her.
uh-huh,
Be- because like the thing is, I was at the time I was like 25. I was really 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 driven. I had my own little mini business going. I was working full time, and then I worked also on the weekends at a nightclub to
mm-hmm,
make some extra money. And then throughout the week, I had this like little Craigslist business that people would buy sofas from me. I would pick up sofas from the free section. I would clean them up, and then I would sell them. So I'd make like anywhere between like $300 to $400 a week extra doing that. Really ambitious guy, and she was really cute, phenomenal at giving head. And she's one of those girls that can like give herself an orgasm when you had sex, so it took all the fucking stress away from me having to like, oh, did you come? Fuck, like I don't know if this is gonna work.
mm-hmm,
And she the thing is, she was just like, all she did was smoke weed, and she was
mm-hmm,
like, she had a single mom. She was like, had this little kid, and I found out like she was smoking weed when she was pregnant, and she really didn't care about a lot of things. And like, in my gut, it just didn't sit right with me. But I didn't have the heart to like be direct and be like, hey, like we should just like not see each other because I just have a different value system than you. To be like put it nicely, but in my heart of hearts, I was just like, this girl's a bum, and I did it, and then I confessed to her, and she freaked out, and it was just not good.
I
So
imagine having a kid made it harder for you to pull the trigger.
yeah, because I took advice from my sister, who's looking back on it now, she's still a train wreck, so I shouldn't be taking advice from her. But she was like, that girl was our mom, like you should give her a chance. But like looking back on it, like
Oh, pulling that
yeah,
on you, putting that
I
on
know,
you.
and I was just like, okay, Brittany, shut up, like you know. But the thing is, with that is a lot of guys. I think a big mistake a lot of guys make, and tell me if this happens to you with your practice. You're still practicing to this day?
I've fully transitioned to just online digital products and stuff. So
Okay.
I do work with guys one on one, but it's more coaching based because they're around the world instead of just California. But yeah,
And you're an LMHC, right? Licensed Medical Health.
LMFT technically, but yeah, it's
Okay, it's a
yeah.
family. Is that what it is?
It
Licensed
stands
medical.
for licensed marriage family therapist, but it
Okay.
doesn't have to just focus on marriage. But that's the name of the title. But yeah,
But basically, you have your master's, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I have my undergrad in psychology, but I decided not to pursue it just because I didn't really believe. In your practice, are they or did they like stress on like prescribing drugs to people?
So there's two schools of thought in psychology. If you probably got this a little bit in undergrad, is like the diagnosis
Hmm.
model, and then like it's called postmodern, but basically believing that people are more than their diagnosis or more than some framework of like symptoms. And I take
Right.
that one, obviously, that we're more than these diagnoses. But when you stay in the field of psychology, like you have to work with insurance, you need to fall to the medical model. And I always wasn't about that because like it's
Yeah.
like no, like this person's more than their anxiety. This person, and it's like yeah. So I kind of stray away from that idea.
Yeah, this person's not like, page 94, section 3 of the DSM
Right,
or whatever
man.
the hell it is now, 5,
And the
6.
thing is, bro, is like here's what is like majority of my work is like we tend to as I talk about identity again, bringing it full circle is like when someone says I'm depressed or I'm anxious, when they identify as their label, it's harder for them to overcome what they are.
Yeah.
Right. And so instead of saying like I am this thing, it's say like, no, I'm experiencing depression because no one's always depressed all the time.
Yeah.
Like there was a time when you were happy, right? So like the more you identify with this shit, like the more it's gonna stay with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I do a lot of subconscious work on myself via
Mhm.
hypnosis. Some people say
Love
it's
that.
like, heebie-jeebie, whatever
Oh
stuff, but
no, it
like
works, bro.
it definitely works. And like, actually, so I'm actually in a position now where I'm working on losing weight, and I would just do these things behind my, like, just kind of casually be like, oh fuck, I'm fat. And I realized that it's not something you should be saying. Like whatever you tell yourself is what you become. So I have I have a private coach and stuff, and actually I have these things on my cell phone here. I don't know if you can see it, but it just says like, I'm making amazing progress on losing weight.
Yep.
Losing weight is an extreme high priority for me. It's my destiny to be physically fit. The real me is physically fit. The real me is thin, right? And I'm not like, I'm not a sumo wrestler or anything. I'm like
No.
23% body fat, but
Mm.
in the world of hot dude, that's unacceptable. So so I completely agree with you. People just getting in this negative feedback loop for themselves, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
110.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
so go ahead,
I
go
was
ahead.
I was just gonna say, and a lot of guys make the mistake of thinking that it won't get worse, but like, I mean, what happens is like life's like a downward escalator. I've seen like, especially with these like thought patterns, it's like if you're not actively getting better and working on this stuff, you're gonna be going down.
Yes.
And with things like depression, these things over time, okay, like an emotion over time becomes a mood, and then a mood over time becomes like a personality trait. And then if you like, so for example, when you see old people, they're either really happy or they're really angry, right? Is because whatever they were, they've compounded and become more of that over time, right? And that's what's going to happen. Is like if you don't fix this stuff now, like it's not going to automatically be fixed later.
That's what I tell my guys. I said, just in the way life is, with like it's just, like mainstream media, just media anywhere, negativity is the default. We are, biologically deteriorating by default. And I say if you're not in this life, like it's extreme. Like if you're not progressing by default, you are regressing. You have to
Mm,
be actively attacking towards your goals because like, I did a lot of brain retraining for myself. Like you probably think I'm a psychopath, but you might actually believe with me. But I used to watch this 4 minute long video every day with like subjectively empowering music. For
mhm.
me, it was like a Naruto theme song.
Dude, I just did a video on Naruto. I don't know
I
if you on
saw
my
that. I
channel.
saw
Yeah.
that. Who's your favorite character?
Itachi.
Oh wow, dude, I love Itachi. I love
Yeah.
Itachi. I'm gonna be. I have to say my top three top. I would say my character favorites. Obviously, number one is Naruto, just because everybody had him down and out, and he like just told everybody like I'm gonna be Hokage. I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Kakashi because he's a great
Dude,
teacher.
Kakashi's number two. Yeah, Kakashi's sick.
Itachi because he was just a gangster. He just
He's
like did what he
fucking
had to
gangster,
do.
dude. Yeah,
And
so
then
cool.
I liked oh freaking name. What's the guy's name? Shikamaru.
Yeah,
Because he
they
was just like he didn't he was like not strong. He was like
super
not super strong,
smart.
but he was like super smart, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's really my go to talent. But yeah, like I used to watch this video, and it would have these present tense statements plus visualizations plus the music,
Yeah,
and I made it when I was 25, and I used to watch it every day.
that's what's up, man. Do you
And
still watch it or?
Dude, it's insane how much of that stuff has come true. It's like terrifyingly
Like
insane.
we call it insane, but like I think it's not insane. Like the law of attraction. Like I have like a lot of these guys don't realize like if you freaking like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. If anyone knows who Dr. Joe Dispenza is, but like when you literally see that visualization and you connect it with that powerful emotion, like it's like the way I say it to my clients, it's like you have a million, you have a billion. If you believe in the multiverse or not, that's fine, doesn't matter. But like I see you have a billion strings of possibilities of your future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever future you see and you feel with that positive like gratitude, like you already have it, like you are literally grabbing that string and pulling that future toward you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, and when you go into an environment, let's say you want to buy a Tesla, right? Everyone wants a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell yourself and see yourself in a Tesla every single day, and you see that future of you driving it, you're more likely to see those Teslas on the road. When you hear people talking about Tesla in a conversation, more likely to hear them, and you're gonna do and say things to get that Tesla. It's like common sense, man.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big fan of like relentless, insane optimism about yourself and about
Mm,
what you want because I believe, Henry Ford said it like if you think you can or can't, either way you're correct. And like
100%.
people just don't understand the power of their mind. Like, I came from like extreme poverty when we were little, like single mom, immigrant, at one point like we were living out of the car and like now like I'm doing very well for myself. Today's my mom's birthday. I just sent her a
Happy
thousand
birthday to her.
dollars
That's
to
awesome.
her. She doesn't even know she's not even awake yet, but she's gonna wake up. She's gonna have $1,000 in her bank account. Like I can live for myself and provide everything and like achieve my dreams. But it all started when I was just like I had this like vision, and I just had this relentless pursuit of it. Now, I want to talk about something on the complete like opposite side of the spectrum. So, are you familiar with these people who identify with something called the black pill?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So, like, we had the scheduling mishap, and like, it was actually really it was a blessing in disguise because one of these guys recently I've had some like beef with like these MGTOW black pill guys, and
Yeah.
like they made a whole video saying like I'm a
Whew.
scam artist.
Okay.
They made an 8 hour long video saying I was a scam artist. I was fucking flattered, honestly.
Yeah. Let's get
And
into it.
though this kid came on, you know, they said he was and they said he was like he was an ugly dude and like he had no future, and without a shadow of a doubt, like he is just like needs to rely on prostitutes, and that like looks is everything when it comes to women, and
Mm-hmm.
basically if you're not 6 foot tall, you're not
Mm-hmm.
super chad, you're not
Mm-hmm.
shredded, you're just not gonna get any action. I was like, bro, you are overestimating women's standards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are
Mm-hmm.
you 6 foot? Are you a big guy?
Yeah, I'm 6'3". Yeah, I'm taller.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you are a big motherfucker. I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Let's start here. Let's start here. Looks do matter for sure.
for
Like,
sure,
and
for sure. But they're
every
not
time I made
everything.
a video on incels or looks, I always state that, and you still get the hate, right? But so second thing is like you just said, like do these guys first of all do they think that they want the Model 10s? Like they just need an attractive girl in general. Like they think that like every girl out there needs like a 10 Chad dude.
Yeah.
Like no, that's the first thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the next thing is like, yeah, look, you're like if we look at like stoicism as or like Buddhism, or whatever it is like in life, it's like you're given what you have, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you have two choices. You can sit there, complain about it, be the victim. I think that's like the ultimate enemy of like against my Pinnacle man, like a victim, right? You can be the victim, say like this isn't fair. All these guys are taller than me, more attractive, or you be like, look, I'm unattractive. I'm this, and this. Let's focus on what I can achieve and improve,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then do the best. And like honestly, like what the thing is like when someone's being a victim, that makes them feel better about themselves in the moment, right? Like I can't do anything about this, so I might as well not even try. And if I don't have to try, if I don't have to try, that means I can't get hurt. I can't get rejected. If I don't even try to approach these girls, I can't get rejected, can I?
Yeah.
Right. So they're avoiding that pain, and they build up a whole world view of like this idea that like I don't have to approach girls and get myself rejected and hurt ever again. And it's just that simple, man. It's just they're avoiding pain. That's all it is.
It's like when somebody you ever played any video games online?
Oh, I love video. I'm a gamer,
Yeah,
dude.
what do you play?
Man, I grew up playing. I started out, I had Sega, not Nintendo. Then I went into, I played a lot of RPGs. I played Final Fantasy a lot, 7, 8. And then I played a lot of FIFA because I love
Mm-hmm.
playing soccer my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And
You look
then
like a soccer player.
I played soccer my whole life, yeah. And then now I play a lot of Hearthstone. It's like a Blizzard game, a card game, and couple other games. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm friends with Trump on Twitch.
yeah,
That's my pal.
no shit. Trump's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I follow Crip a lot too. Kriparian, he's also
Mm-hmm.
plays, and yeah, Trump's sick.
Trump's a good guy, super
Yeah,
super genuine guy.
yeah, I
Um
love him. He's awesome.
so so going back to like the reason asking, like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you ever played in like any online FPS games, like Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it's like you get your ass whooped and you just like rage quit. You just rage quit. I like these guys, they just rage quit out of the game. And it was
Pretty
just
much.
so crazy to watch it. Like there's this guy, he just thought he was like, he literally thought he was just like like an ugly guy, and he thought there was no hope. And honestly, he had a lot of red flags. Like he had, he's in his 30s, but he had two parents that paid everything for him. And as a man, like that's crippling. Like I know a lot of guys that are like trust fund babies or whatever, and they're like, it's hard for them to feel like a man, like, like, because they didn't earn it. You know what I mean? Like when
Hmm.
you kind of like, as a man, you need to like, I think every man struggles with like the question once in a while, like, am I really a man? Like, am I earning my own keep? Am I like, the strong guy?
And that's the thing, man, is like like you define what a man is yourself, right? And like I was talking to a guy the other day, and like he was like beating himself up because he didn't work out that day, he didn't work on his business, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we said, what is the ideal man one? What does that look like? What does he have? He's like, well, hot girl, like maybe they're a wife, maybe she's not, like cool money, all this stuff. I was like, cool. Is there a guy out there in the world that has all that stuff and still isn't happy? He's like, yeah,
Right.
probably most guys. Okay, I was like, okay, then what would make you happy? Like your values, like understanding your deep core values about who you are, what you want, and living through that, right? And so, like you were saying too, like a lot of these guys, man, they give up, and they were raised by these like single moms, and they were pampered and they were sheltered, and they had, as Neil Strauss says, emotional incest with their mothers. I don't know what that means. It's basically like they're super attached, and then like
Yeah.
it's their beliefs are driving everything for them, man. Like that vision we talked about, like you mentioned with Henry Ford, that quote.
Mm-hmm.
These guys from early age never saw a possibility of anything other than what they are currently getting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I always tell people, especially men, I said, the craziest thing about life is, I said, like, the craziest, most sobering thing about life is not that you can't have your dreams come true. The craziest thing is you can have your dreams come true, and if they don't come true, it's 100% your fault. That's like that's like the power of being a man,
yeah,
but
that
also the
hit,
curse
man.
of being a man.
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard of something called the Jonas Complex. It's by a psychologist named Abraham Maslow. He basically, the idea that we are equally as afraid of our success as we are of our failure. And a lot of these guys, that we kind of self-sabotage in so many ways because we're afraid if we reach this level of success that we're equally afraid of, like, we're afraid of death, but we're also equally afraid of like living fully, because that might kill us in a sense too. And also
Oh,
it creates this like fear of loss. Like if I actually achieve this thing, if I actually got it, that means I could lose it. And that fear of losing that thing that we want so badly, it's scary. So we don't actually
interesting.
go for it.
That's very, very interesting because a lot of people, I too, I actually, that's very, very interesting because I can like, I have pretty high self awareness, so I can actually realize when I'm self sabotaging, and I stop and I ask myself like, why am I self sabotaging? Like, what am I doing this for?
Can I give an example of that?
Fuck yeah, go ahead.
So I live in an entrepreneur house. There's like a couple other entrepreneurs I live with, and one of them is a licensed hypnotherapist, an NLP practitioner, and he helped with my money mindset. Right, recently, I was not making that much money a couple years ago. I was still in my post job out of grad school, making like 30 an hour, which is pretty good, but like
Yeah,
whatever. But I was in private practice as well, and I was getting these $120 payments from clients, and I just like didn't feel like. He's like, Josh, how do you feel when someone hands you $120 after a session? I'm like, that I didn't deserve it.
You feel guilty, right?
I felt guilty, like I don't deserve this money, right? And then I was like looking at like a lot of the workers or like who work construction around my house, and like I should be busting my butt for money. And one of the
Mhm.
beliefs I had is that money is hard earned,
Yeah.
right? That you need to work hard for your money.
Hmm.
And of course, when I'm getting this money, I feel like I need to hold on to it because I feel like it's so hard to earn. You flip that belief around through hypnotic, suggestions and stuff and hard
Yeah.
work. That money comes easy. Money flows into my life.
Yeah.
And what happens? I started doing things that started making a lot more money and also spending it more freely because I knew it was coming back to me. And if
Yeah.
you take this belief about women, so many women have the belief that a 10 is scarce,
Hmm.
or only women want this 6 foot jacked guy, blah, 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 blah. And it's like when you walk up to that girl and you're not that thing that you're telling yourself that she wants, you're going to reject yourself, bro. You're not going to even allow the girl a chance to reject you. You're rejecting yourself because you're going to be someone that you're not actually, and she's not going to even have a chance to reject you.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of coaching with my body language mastery program since quarter one of last year. And it's funny because I studied body language and I made like this video course where like you can look at a woman's body language and understand like is she opening, is she closing, right? All these little indicators. And then it also comes with 3 weeks of training of like we do 2 hours of Zoom sessions in the morning and then 2 hours at night.
Nice. That's
And
intense.
yeah, we do it for 3 weeks, and people who buy, like, if you buy quarter one, you get grandfathered into all the sessions for the rest of the year. Quarter two, quarter three, same thing for it. It was really successful last year. I was going to discontinue it, but it turned out to be really helpful to the guys, and I reopened it to keep helping the dudes out. And so what happened was, it all starts out like, yeah, how do I get the girls? How do I bang these broads?
Yeah.
But
Which
it
is
always
important.
it is, but it always
Yeah.
ends with like, my dad used to whoop my ass when I was little, and I always feel like a
Bro.
pussy. And
Yep.
like, it's like
Yep.
every single time
Yep.
it goes back to the inner game. The
Hmm.
reason, and this is not I'm never gonna feel like a passive aggressive dig on you at all, but the
Go
reason
go
that
for it.
the reason that I hate the current mainstream media like medical system or the psychology thing is like they typically, like, to an extent in America, like, guys are sort of treated as second class citizens just because they're men, as if like you're at fault because you're male. Not across the board, but I would say like in pop culture, like guys are like kind of apologists for being men.
You don't think I agree with that?
I don't know. I just met you.
Well, no, yeah, bro. Are you kidding me? I'm tired of like the trope of like, oh, we have to have a female in this lead role because there's not. It's
Is
like
that not sexist in itself? Like, we need a female. Like, what the fuck? Like, what if I was like, we need a man on this board? They would lose their fucking mind. They would lose their minds. But it's okay. Like,
I don't know,
don't be
man.
sexist, but like, we need female CEOs. Like, why do we need female CEOs? We need competent CEOs. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is pretty controversial, but all right, like I truly think that a woman naturally, all women wants to be a mother, and if they
Mhm.
want to pursue the career, it's because they're trying to, make their father happy, or that never had a son, or like that. Truly, a woman wants to be raising a child,
Yeah.
and that's just my belief. But
It's what we're here for. Like, women, dude, I meet women that like don't have kids and they're later in their 40s and 50s and they're like alcoholics. They're fucking depressed. Like, I
Southern
think,
cats.
dude, the cat thing is like legit, man. The
Well,
cat
because they
thing is
want to, they
legit.
want to take, because women naturally, the feminine nature wants to take care and wants to nurture, right?
Yeah.
And so if they haven't have a kid, like, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with saying that, man. It's just the truth of reality. Men want to, create goals and businesses and serve men and serve other people, and women want to create and bring up, and that is a very noble thing to do, to raise a child correctly, so he doesn't
Yeah.
have all these problems and issues like I did.
Yeah, me too, dude. Like, I had such like a turbulent childhood, man, that,
Yeah.
you know, I was an elementary school teacher for a while and
Oh,
like
nice.
you
I
can
taught kids too.
yeah, yeah, and like teaching, this also enrages people, but like if you can learn to handle yourself in like a group of children or a group of dogs, like you can understand women because like they just instinctively smell if you're a bitch or not. Like they just know. Like, and kids will test you.
Oh,
They'll
100%,
they'll
bro.
be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Mr. Jonathan, like can I play this iPad? Mr. Yamamoto said it was okay." I was like, "Oh yeah, you sneaky little shit." I was like, "Why don't we go ask Mr. Yamamoto together?" And then they're like, oh no, no, he said it's okay. And I'm like, oh, well, let's go ask him. And you could see that they're upset. And you're like, so did he
Mhm.
really say it's okay? Like, no, I just want to play the iPad. And
Mhm.
same
Mhm.
thing with girls. Same thing with dog. Like, you have a dog. Occasionally, dog's doing great. He's going outside. He's peeing outside. He's not barking. One day, the dog's gonna be like, I just want to see if this guy is he still the man. I'm gonna shit in the living room. Out of nowhere. And you gotta like check it. And the same thing with girls. Girls will just test you out of nowhere. It's like no matter how good the relationship is. I watch a lot of Twitch, right? So like I see people's fucking relationship problems on Twitch. I
Mhm.
see girls testing dudes and like
Mhm.
guys. The typical Western guy thinks that like I can win by submitting to her and appeasing to her and like giving her more and more. And it's like the same thing with a kid. Like if the kid is crying and spoiling, like if you keep on giving him candy, keep on giving him what you want, like let me just keep giving, let me keep giving. But eventually, like the what people want, all people want boundaries. And because boundaries make you feel safe. And same thing with the relationship. So I feel like eventually the woman will check you, but you have to be like, listen, like, no, it's not okay. You can't go have girls' night out, like, because all your friends are drunken whores, and like, I'm here. If you're gonna go and do that, that's fine, but we can't be a thing. You can't have exclusivity with me if you want to go have like these drunken nights out with your girls and stuff like that. Just like an
Mhm.
example there.
Yeah, I mean that's 100, and a girl will never stop testing you, and like you could see that as like women are always gonna be naggy, or you could see those tests as opportunities to display your boundaries and show your masculinity and put your foot down, and like, and then she gets off on that, she loves that, and it's like a
Mm-hmm.
positive feedback loop, right? And she gets more attraction for you. It's like when my girlfriend like my girlfriend's test me, I'm like, all right, awesome, like, well, all right, no, like, and like the look in her eyes, like, tell me what to do, like she literally says like if you get with a girl who's like in her positive feminine
Mm-hmm.
like naturally she loves being in her feminine nature, she loves it when you tell her what to do, and she's
Yeah.
like please tell me what to do. And
Yeah.
it's like it's not like a but our society, right, has like condemned that, and like no,
Yeah.
women have to be these independent women, don't need no man. It's like, but these women are hurting. These women
Yeah.
are hurting because they're being told by society, I need to be independent, I don't need a guy, I need to be strong, but then like yet they're not with a guy. Like I have so many female clients too. I have that perspective of like these strong, like independent women who are good in their career, and they're like only attracting these like little beta guys, but they want these alpha men, and they don't understand why that is. And I'm like, dude, like because you're being like a guy,
Mm-hmm.
like so you're gonna attract like the feminine attracts the masculine, and they're if they're
Yeah.
being super masculine, they're gonna attract feminine guys. And as a guy, you need to put your foot down. You're right, and hold your boundaries.
Yeah. And I would say this that in regards to that, like I don't know, man. I just think people in general are stupid. But like, what does independent mean? If you're so strong and you're so smart, what does independent mean? It means alone, you fucking dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that is what's gonna happen if you like. There's no like the myth of the strong independent woman is a lie because like look at the data, it just clearly doesn't back it up. Like I think the recent coronavirus thing is pretty telling because what are all these girls doing? They're like resorting to a lot of them are resorting to selling naked pictures on OnlyFans to like
Mm-hmm.
to make some money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why don't you learn to code? Why don't you learn to like, build an online business or something like along those lines?
I heard something great the other day. I don't know where it's from, but they were like saying how women don't need as much men's approval anymore in real life because they're getting all that via likes on social media,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then now it's like they have this false like validation from everyone, so they don't need a man as much anymore either because of these like false validation online and stuff. So it's
And
kind of
and the
creating more of the problem.
and the shortcoming with that is this, right? Let's be honest. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know about yourself, but I'm a dog. I pretty much would bang almost anything, right?
Okay.
But but the thing is, women think like just because a guy wants to have sex with them, they have value. But the truth is, if a man wants to keep you around after he has sex with you, then I believe that is a real indicator of value.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because like any guy will take sex.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, women struggle with getting in relationships, obviously. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And if we see a theme between these, like, I don't want to say feminist women, let's call them feminist, let's call a spade a spade. Like, they're feminist women, right? And these incel guys, it's like what's the theme? What's the common theme? They're both pushing other people away. They're separating, they're isolating, which leads to depression,
Mm-hmm.
which leads to more pain, right? And so that's like the ultimate theme between these two people. It's
Yeah,
like
the
pushing people away.
incels and the M cells. The M cells are the emotional cell of the women.
Mm.
Um, so I saw like one time you had like a video that you were saying like about like the red pill and stuff. I don't necessarily like call myself a red pill creator or whatever. I'm just kind of like a guy who thinks by I'm a big fan of the hot dude life. That's my personal mantra.
No,
If I tell guys to like I say the recipe for success for men is the big three. Make money, make muscles, learn game. From
mhm.
18 years old until you die, focus on physical fitness, focus on financial fitness, and like understand female psychology so you don't get taken to our extremely unfair divorce courts in the United States of America and get fleeced. Because the average girl these days knows that the divorce court system is on her side. I was on this dating show on Twitch the other day with these like
Mhm.
these cute Asian girls. One was 19, one was like 23, young girls, Asian American, right? And they're asking the guys, would you marry us? And the guys were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then the follow up, and these are young girls. Like when I was 19, when I was 23, I didn't think about this. I'm 34 now. But they were asking, would you make us sign a prenuptial agreement? And then if the guys said yes, they'd be like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I think they have a big indicator on the I think that women kind of know they have the upper hand in certain situations regarding the law.
Yeah, I think women, yeah, they want to be supported by a guy because women don't make as much money, so they definitely want that financial support for sure.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
what's your take on like because I saw you like did a video kind of like what's
yeah,
funny
that
I
was a
used to
contrarian video for sure.
it's fine, I don't care. I used to work with that guy Corey Capella that you did a interview with recently.
Yeah, I got to release that. Like Corey that was a great interview. I like Corey.
Yeah, he's a little extreme. We kind of had
He
like a little
is.
bit of a falling out, but
He
I
is.
mean, I just kind of let
Definitely
him.
is.
God bless him. I sent him on his way. But he had a very very extreme view, a little bit more extreme than I approve of. But what's your take on like the red pill and I think like you don't agree with it basically, or
No,
what's
so that's the funny thing, man. It's so misinterpreted. Is because people listening, I did a video on red pill, everything that's wrong with it, and I
mm-hmm,
mean, I could have equally done a video everything right with red pill too,
mm-hmm,
because there's a lot right with it, a lot right with it. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, and then Rolo Tomasi did a 4 hour breakdown of like everything wrong with it, but I don't think he truly focused on the points I made. But that's not here nor there. But
It's
so
fine.
what do I think is wrong about the red pill?
Mhm. Well,
So it,
what are your thoughts in general?
oh man, whew,
We got
man.
time. I mean, I got time. I don't know if you have time.
Well, I think it's important that if you're in the as a blue pill beta guy, a nice guy, and you're still getting rejected by all these girls and like the socially conditioned way of attracting girls and working, yes, the red pill is super important to show female psychology. There are so many things that women will say to everyone on the surface, but actually isn't the truth of their actual psychology and what they're attracted to. And
Mm-hmm.
whether that's conscious to them or not, there's so much under the surface about human behavior that women will never admit. For example, I just made a video. I'm gonna post it like later, but 8 sexual fetishes women actually have,
Yep.
and this is super controversial.
Rape
I'm,
is one of
I'm
them.
Yep. And this isn't to say that women actually want to be raped, because men, when we have fantasies, we watch porn. Guys listening to this have watched certain types of porn that would never interact in real life, right? But it speaks to their actual psychology that BDSM, rape, gangbangs with other dudes are all the things that they watch. It's because they want to be dominated. They like the feminine wants to be dominated. And if a guy doesn't truly know that, Red Pill shows that. So that helps when he goes into interaction, thinking to himself instead of, I need to be nice. This girl doesn't like sex. Like, no, this girl wants me. She wants to be banged. She wants a masculine guy to take her, sweep her off her feet. Red Pill
Mm-hmm.
shows that. So that's a lot of the positives of the Red Pill.
You ever been sleeping with a girl and like the sex is pretty vanilla and she like slowly takes her hand and like puts it on her neck? You're like, all right, this bitch wants to, she wants to get freaky now.
I'm usually the one to do that first, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I had a conversation with a buddy the other day and he was with this girl, right? And she was like, he was in the house, he was like trying to go for it, and she was like rejecting him. And then he was like, "Oh, okay, like okay, like whatever." And then like she was like, "No, but go for it." He's like, but you're saying like don't." Anyways, long story short, she ended up leaving the house and she didn't have sex with him. 30 minutes later, she sends him a text message. She's like, "You should be more forceful and aggressive next time." And he's like, "Bitch, I'm not trying to catch a Me Too case. Like, what do you like,
Hmm.
but he
Hmm.
didn't really
Hmm.
he couldn't really smell what to do in that situation.
Yeah, it is dangerous though, man. Like so I've never had a problem until recently. So I'll share the other side of the problem. Like I was on a date with a girl, and we're back at my place, and like she's being standoffish, but like she's back at my place. When a girl goes back to your place after a date, she walks into your house.
She knows what she's
But,
doing.
right, but the thing is, man, I did an interview on this, and so many girls will say it doesn't mean I want sex, right? But it's like if, anyways, we're not going to go too much into that.
But you're in like ground zero for like fucking women
I
who
know.
think it's like almost fashionable in California to like have a sexual allegation against a man. Like, oh my god, like this guy, he did
Yeah.
something. Like I know a girl that claimed she was raped, and the first thing she did was go to social media and put an Instagram story out, but did to this day has not filed a police report.
Yeah, man, it's tough waters. Is all I'm saying. Like a lot of guys are hearing this, they're like, "Well, I'm just gonna give up." It's like, no, dude. Like there's a cadence around this. Like you can be okay around this and like not get in trouble and still look at body language cues, right? This is what you teach, right? So this is very important. And so, anyways, long story short, this girl, like I want the most idea is like I picked this girl up, I carried her to my bedroom, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't want to have sex, and so I was like, I respected that. And but the next day, she was like, you brought me back to your house without telling me we're going back to your house, and like you grabbed my face to kiss me, and you picked me up, and like I just wasn't comfortable. And I was like, at any point in that night, if you said I want to go home or I don't feel comfortable, I would have been like, chill, go, bye, have a good night, like cool, I respect that, go. But she
Mm-hmm.
never said anything,
Mm-hmm.
and like so it can be, girls can play you in a way.
So
So,
let's talk about this. Did she have any red flags?
man, looking back at it, like
How
I
old was she?
24.
She white?
No, half white, half Mexican.
Tattoos?
No,
None, eh?
no.
Stable background with the family?
I thought I'm pretty good at reading that, being a therapist, but it seemed like it. I don't know, man.
Where'd you meet her from?
With Bumble.
Red flag. Any girl from online dating, I automatically file in like not serious potential material. I don't think.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was just trying to, hang out and stuff, but
Try to smash, bro. It's okay. This is the hot dude channel. You can say that. But
for sure.
like yeah, like that's the down thing. And that only really happens in America. That's the big thing cuz I don't know if you know, but I live in Tokyo.
Yes,
And like
yes.
an American like polling company came over here and they're like trying to like all right, like we're feminists, we're empowered, like time to show these Japanese women like they're wrong, right? That's like the really like stuff about American perspective that I really dislike is like they just think everybody needs to be like America, and it's like so inherently like
Yeah.
ignorant. So what they did is they came over here and they polled all these university girls, right? And they're like, "All right, girl, what is your like big empowered woman dream?" And dude, a crushing like 85% of all the Japanese girls like, "I want to get married and I want to have children." And they're like, "What do you mean? What about strong independent women?" They're like, "That's stupid. Men work hard. My father works hard. I don't want to do that. I want to have babies and go to the park." And they're like, "But don't you want to be empowered?" They're like, "No. I want to be like a mother." Like, "Wow, you're so oppressed, aren't you?" It's like
I saw an interview in like 1970s in like Australia interviewing women on the same thing, and all these women were like, "No, I don't want to have to go to the same exact thing, man, same exact thing." And it's sad over there, right, with the men, right? Like they aren't pursuing women as much at all, right? They're like in Japan.
hmm What do you think about this guy? He says women love dominant men in the bedroom. They don't want to throw away their ambitions to look after a little crying brat. I think this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Women love dominant men in the bedroom.
But I mean the second half, they don't want to throw away
Throw
their
away their
ambitions to
ambitions.
look after a little crying brat. I think he doesn't understand females. Women don't. Have you ever
Oh,
worked with women? They're like really lazy and they take a lot of vacation. They take more vacation time than men. They don't perform high as men. Like they have given every equal opportunity, but they don't they like if you look at female inventors, like the male to female ratio of inventors is like a crushing majority of men.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's true at all.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, a crying brat, like well, that comment in general, like a crying brat, like if it's your own flesh and blood, like it's like they see their baby crying, it's like they want to take care of it, like it's their child.
Yeah.
So it's like they actually get like release oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine when they actually take care of their child. Like they feel good taking care of their crying child. So I don't know if that person understands.
Yeah, like when a woman releases oxytocin, this is the hormone that makes you feel close to somebody.
Bonding, yeah,
Oxytocin, yeah, it's
social
the
bonding.
bonding hormone, and
Hmm.
it's released when you have sex, when you
Hmm.
cuddle, and when the
Hmm.
woman breastfeeds.
Yep, 100%.
And so that doesn't make any sense there whatsoever. So that guy's, I think that guy needs a little, he needs a little bit more help. He's a black pill guy. Yakafara666 with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. She says he handled that situation as he should have in today's society with all the hashtag Me Too bullshit. Perfecto. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you have to have some like social acuity to kind of understand with the which girls are potentially like dangerous animals, if you will.
Yeah, there are some signs you can look for, but at the end of the day, it's like you can't truly know if a girl's going to be like that or not, if she's going to be. Maybe there is some litmus test that I just don't know. I'm not aware of. Maybe you know it, but like I don't think there is 100% foolproof way to figure that out unless you go through it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Going back to everything though, so like you decided to make this YouTube channel, you decided to help men and all these things. Like, what is the pinnacle of men philosophy? Like, what is your
I guess I can share.
message?
It's helping men find and keep their perfect 10 by reaching their full potential and accepting themselves in the process. Because I mean, ultimately, if I tell guys, if I came up with a video like how to accept yourself, it's like people don't. That you want to give people what they want, right? Which is banging chicks, money, all this stuff. But like at the end of the day, bro, like as cliche as it is, if you truly love yourself and like fully accept who you are as a person, like then you can change. And like it's a paradox, but like acceptance comes before change. And like for example, let's use you as an example, like your body, right? Like losing this weight. If you sat there every day and were like, man, I hate my body and it's awful and I'm fat, all this stuff, and like I wish I had more muscle. It's like that emotion, those thoughts give you an emotion of like anger and shame and guilt, which makes you would have to deal with that. You're not going to go to the gym when you feel shameful and guilty. You're going to eat, probably stress, eat more. But like if you're like, you know what, this is what I look like right now. Cool. Now I have a chance to work on it. I'm accepting where I'm at. Then you can move forward. Right. And so like I would say the pinnacle man is like the opposite of the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Someone who takes responsibility for their life.
Yeah.
Like knows what they can achieve, can see it clearly, just needs a goal to get there, and then like will do the work to get there, has the grit behind it to achieve, and honestly like be the best version of yourself and to serve as many people possible along the way. So
Yeah, I call it like DNA flexing. Like, if you
DNA
can like,
flexing.
you can maximize yourself. No matter, dude, and that's the thing too. Like game is the ultimate X factor when it comes to girls. Like it doesn't matter, women are not like us in regards to physical attractiveness. Like sure it helps, but I've been with some chicks and I've been like, what are you even doing with me? you know? And
Bro,
so
yeah.
I just think that they are um when you talk about taking accountability, you also take charge in your life, right? Like you have to like a lot of these guys too, these guys that are in the black pill community, they just don't get marketing, they don't understand sales, and they typically work like jobs that are like not sales based, not marketing based. They work like very kind of low EQ jobs like programmer,
Mm-hmm.
office worker, cubicle worker.
Rational, logical, and that's
Exactly.
can we talk about that? Like, because this is like the biggest help when it comes to attraction that guys mess up. We are very logical, women are very emotional. Know what that
Yes.
base, and so many men think logic is going to attract a girl. It is 110% emotional. The way you feel inside transfers. It's called state transference. If whoever doesn't know that, basically we have mirror neurons.
Mm-hmm.
However you feel, the other person feels as well. So if you're
Yes.
walking up to a girl and you're feeling anxious and you feel like she's going to reject you, she's going to feel that inside of her. She's very intuitive. All she's going to feel is like, this guy's creeping me out. I'm going to reject him. But if you walk up and then you work on your values and you're like, I'm confident, I deserve this goal, and you're relaxed, you're standing out from 95% of dudes already just by being relaxed. That's what confidence is. When a girl says, I want a confident guy, she wants a guy that is like, feels okay, entitled to approach her, and like nonchalant. Like, I don't care if you would reject me or not. Like, I'm in my masculine and I'm feeling chill. And then that you're already standing up for most guys. And so many guys are like, I need the right words to say to her. And it's like, bro, like words can help, but like no magic words unlock a girl's panties, in my opinion. It's like the nonverbals, the body language. It is
Yeah.
your beliefs as a person. It's the way you feel on the inside that matters more than anything else.
Feeling is everything, man. And you can make a girl feel like you can make her feel a certain way just by the way you talk to her,
Mm-hmm.
by eliciting emotions out of her. Like
Mm-hmm.
men, what men want sexual variety. They want
Mm-hmm.
to fuck a lot of different girls. Women want emotional variety. They want to feel a bunch of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a woman is happy all the time, she's going to be fucking miserable. If a woman's sad all the time, she's going to be miserable. She needs this fucking roller coaster of emotions. And if you want to lead that relationship or lead the multiple relationships as a man, you got to take her and take her on this ride. So like a lot of people like, "Oh, I'm a man. I'm a stoicism. Like I don't fucking show emotion, nothing like that."
I
Right?
know, man. I know.
That's like something you saw in an anime. Like doesn't work.
I know, man. I had a guy comment on one of my recent videos. I said how to control your emotions, and one guy was like, "Oh, emotions, those things that women have." It's like, yeah, bro, you have emotions, dude. Like, how are you gonna deny you even, like, the fact that you're blind to them? They will control you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's sad, man. I don't know, man. It really makes me sad when I hear a guy say that. It's like, dude, like that's the crux of the issue right there. Your inability to have emotional intelligence. You can't read other people's emotions either if you can't read your own.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, like, you know, as a sales and marketing background, I learned a lot of this from like selling couches, right? So I used to have this one couch, right? And this couch was fucking so ugly. This couch was like white and it was just like a floral pattern all over the couch, right?
I can see it.
And I was just like, this couch is pure cancer. This couch escaped from the 1970s in a time machine here. It was in
Mm,
immaculate condition, right?
mm,
And I remember I was like, all right, like this fuck this couch. Like this couch is I $60. I put it on Craigslist, $60. Nobody would buy it, right? I was like, okay, $40 free delivery. Nobody would buy it,
never
right?
bought it.
And I was like, you know what? I have an idea. I was like, let me just try something. So I changed the price to $120 plus a delivery fee as well, right? I'll never forget. I sold it to this young Spanish guy. This guy was like, I fucking love this couch. He's like, this couch is fucking phenomenal. And I remember he sat down on it and he just smiled and he was like, wow, this is so good. Like, I love this couch so much. And he like shook my hand. He was like, thank you so much. And I was like 24 at the time. And I was like, just sitting there with the cash in my hand, like, this motherfucker bought this ugly ass couch that I've had for like over a month trying to sell this thing. And I just sat there and realized it. And that's the thing with female attraction that these black pill guys they don't understand, right? They think that women are just as promiscuous as men, which is completely incorrect, right? They think like women don't like hopping from dick to dick. Like a guy can
Yep,
bang like 3 4 girls a week and he'll be like, yeah, I'm Gucci, right? But a girl that leaves lasting
it
damage, right?
does.
And usually when they're doing that, they're just doing it a because like society pressures them, like that current society, or she has some serious issues that she's trying to compensate for. Most likely daddy issues,
Hmm.
or just issues of rejection. Like a woman, I know girls. The girls that I know are like the biggest ones that sleep around. They're never the really hot girls. They're like the sixes, six and a halves that they need to feel validated for their beauty, and so they feel that by overcompensating by sleeping with a bunch of men, that therefore okay, I'm validated, I'm accepted, and like I have value as a woman.
They're chasing daddy's approval. It's true, man.
Yeah. And some people do that to the fucking day they die,
Hmm.
you know? I'm sorry, that point was leading to something, but I forgot where I was going. Um, but yeah, like just the whole situation now, I personally, and I could be wrong, I could be living in an echo chamber. but I do feel like things are starting to shift a little bit. I'm starting to like notice chinks in the armor of women, and I think like young guys are kind of getting more red pilled, if you will. Like they're a
Mm,
little bit like Chad is like Chad Alpha Beta, like that's in like daily vernacular now. Everybody like knows what that is
mm-hmm,
compared to like 10, 20 years ago. Not everybody knew what that was.
mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like the term simp, like we all like. There's if you, sometimes I'll like be on YouTube and I'll see all these memes about like what simp behavior is, and like guys aren't don't want to simp, and yeah. So there's being a change in understanding what's going on, the dynamics at a younger age, which is potentially good, right? I mean, because then something can change about that, right? Hopefully.
No, yeah, well, it's becoming aware. Like awareness is the first step to
First part.
solving this.
Yeah.
And like what we're in right now is an information war. That's what we are. And I think the more you try to censor, because people are trying to censor like masculinity. They're trying to like,
Who do you think's behind all that? Do you think
the fucking lizards, of course, bro.
the
The lizard
lizards?
people.
The lizard people.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's financially lucrative to have a beta male nation.
Interesting.
You know.
Interesting. Okay. Huh. I
What
never thought
about
of it like
you?
that. I don't know, man. I
I
mean,
think the media is
that's why I
responsible.
asked.
Are you in Los Angeles?
San Diego, so close enough.
Yeah, I mean it's like, dude, like I don't know if you watch this channel, I just like go in on Californians all the time.
Mm, gotta
Because it's
unpack it.
just
Hey, man, the weather makes up for it, in my opinion.
yeah, but for sure. But like, the girl that I was telling you about, like
Hmm.
it's so funny too. Like I went to her place and everything. She's on Instagram acting like she is
Women are very
some
entitled.
some diva.
Hmm.
I went to her apartment and dude, this place looked like it was like a fucking cellar in Auschwitz. This place was disgusting. It smelled bad. The carpets were stained. There was like garbage in the kitchen, and and she was a cute girl, but I was just like, you are living like a fucking homeless person. Like,
Hmm.
what the fuck is going on? And then
Hmm.
this is the same chick who she got on social media and like told everybody she was raped, but like never followed through with it, like in regards to the police. But she told it to like 10,000 people on her social media, but she wouldn't go tell it to the police. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, usually when a girl doesn't report, it's because they're shameful. They don't want to like have it be a big thing. But if she's telling her social media following, then yeah, that is confusing to me. There's some
It doesn't make sense.
incongruency there.
It's extremely incongruent.
Yeah. But yeah, that's weird, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough waters to tread. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see what it is, but I always say like, America is like it's simp nation number one. Like there's just so much. The media is definitely behind it. Like even if you watch some of the music
Mhm.
videos, have you ever watched like some of these newer music videos?
No, but like I haven't. But I think like looking back at it, the reason like how our society looks at it is like a lot of like the movies, like what's a typical like teen movie is like the super nice guy gets the girl. I think that is a big part of it. And
Mm-hmm.
also like the Disney mentality, right? Like this like knight in shining armor, and people think like, oh, that's not me. That didn't influence me, bro. Like literally, if you read like about neural development, from the age like 0 to 10, our brain is mostly in theta waves, and the theta state is like when you're in that dreamlike reverie, like whenever like you fall off a curb and you're about to fall asleep, like you shake. So like when you're in that state, you're absorbing everything into your brain because as a child, we have to adapt to our environment. So yes, the media you consume, if you watch all these movies and you're seeing this nice guy like get on one knee to the girl and like
Mm-hmm.
cater to her and like these like teen movies where it's like he eventually gets the hottest girl just by being nice, it does go into your psyche and it
Mm-hmm.
does influence the way you interact with women. So I think
Absolutely.
that stems from that a lot of it too.
Definitely. No, and it's everywhere. It's in the sub communications as well. I watched some music video the other day. I forget the name of the song, but it's like, basically the guy's like he's gonna die and he's like singing a song to his girl. Is like basically, I hope you have a better life without me after I die. Like I think it's called Deathbed or something like that.
Jesus,
First of
dude.
all, super heavy for fucking kids to be listening to. Second of all, just little thing. He's laying in the bed with the girl, and he's spooning her, and then like she like looks over, turns around, and like kind of playfully like disrespectfully slaps him in the face, and he like kind of takes it, and like young people, they look at this kind well, not even young people, like all people, they look at this, and a lot of people, like, you know, naively look to mainstream media, mainstream movies, mainstream music, and they look at that for their kind of searching for their foundation of reality. Like, how many times have you like thought of something, and you guys in the audience too, how many times have you like thought and rationalized something to be true just because you saw it in a movie, and then later you found out like this was not true at all? You know, a lot of people, they friggin' they go into like this mindset of thinking that like what they see on the movies is like absolutely true. So it's a big thing, because if you watch the commercials and the media in Japan, the
Mm-hmm.
commercials like show men and women like getting along so well.
Mm.
Like, you know, they have there's a commercial the other day for like laundry powder, and it was literally 100 Japanese housewives wearing aprons, like singing and dancing in the sun, because they have this laundry powder, and like their husband and children are happy because they do their laundry. Like in America, the commercials are like, insert dumb man, insert empowered woman, but woman is empowered only because she chooses product A. Therefore, buy product A. And
Mm.
that has a mass effect on people. People don't seem to realize it, but we're kind of caught in this cultural echo chamber, like, let's shit on men. And then it's kind of gotten to the real extreme. Like, obviously, did you cover the Gillette commercial? They're like, all men are rapists. Like,
I
buy a
should have.
razor.
I should have did a video on that. I feel like enough people did videos on that though. It was destroyed, so it was taken apart. You know.
We need your voice, Joshua. You got to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna do an interview series and talk to people about that in public, but I feel like we're past it now. But yeah, it's a problem, man, and it is mostly America. And I think the question is like, what do we do about it, right? I mean, you can leave America, but like, I love this country. I love this country,
Yep.
and I want to make it great again. But I do, man. Like, I want to like do something about it and like change the narrative behind what masculinity is, and like the idea of toxic masculinity is thrown around, but like, yeah, I think something can be done. We just got to have conversations like this more often.
Yeah, I think there's like there is a slow change coming. It is slow, but you know, we didn't get this overnight as well. We didn't get this bad overnight. But I think like what are starting to realize is like men in positions of power, like women. What I've noticed about American women is they can't handle getting rejected. It's actually pretty hilarious to watch them like melt down when a guy rejects them. They literally cannot handle it,
Mm,
because everything's kind of on, like, a lot of guys pedestalize chicks in the States.
yeah,
Like
more.
they
That's an understatement.
Yeah, they pedestalize them like just like the complete opposite of sexism. Like, just because you're a woman, you're special.
Hmm.
And just because you're a man, you're bad.
Mm.
It's truly insanity in my opinion. But I think as long as we keep pushing forward and making content like this and helping men, I think guys like me and you will probably, always be in the minority in regards to. I think just betas are just gonna beta, and it's easier to be a loser. It's easier to be a victim. It's easier to cry about your problems. It's way
Well,
easier.
not everyone can be an alpha, man. Like, not everyone. I think that's debatable, I guess. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you think about that. I don't think everyone can be, man. And I
No,
think
they
some.
can't. No, they can't.
Yeah.
But I think that what I think is that learning the art of seduction is a doable skill, and any man can make himself more attractive and increase the probability of him having more sex than he currently is if he takes an applied approach to increasing certain aspects of his life. I think that right there can happen for all men, as long as you just put the effort forward.
Yeah, and when you master like dude, when you master the art of seduction, like, it applies to not just like social intelligence in general with people, with other guys, like standing up for yourself, these boundaries we talked about. Like, mastering this field is like mastering yourself too
Yeah.
in general. And a lot of people, I guess, need to see that because at least it's salient for me.
A lot of guys who actually figured out, there's two types of guys who have this. Like, are you familiar with Roosh V?
Yes.
You see him like having a public meltdown on social media right now and finding
No, I had no idea.
he's now a celibacy coach.
Whoa.
And he found Jesus, and he's talking about picking up people is the devil, and it's Luciferians and the Jews and all this crazy shit. And he's saying that
The Illuminati got him. The Illuminati got
they got his ass, bro. They hit him with the mark of the beast.
they did,
No,
man.
this is like him, and then mystery, the mystery method guy. He's had
Mm-hmm.
public break meltdowns. There's two
Really?
types of men. Okay, men who figure out game, because the majority of guys who want sex, right? They guys who are successful, they do the logical thing, like, hey, I'm rich now. I thought I was gonna get the girls, or hey, now I'm jacked. Now I thought the girls were gonna come, right? But again, that's too logical. That's too like left brain. That's too like you're too like too dialed in with your autism. It doesn't
Mm,
work like that. You know,
mm.
I think most guys who truly figure out women and understand this stuff, typically they actually move over into something else. They move on with their life. They get business.
It be it be it becomes just a natural part of their life, right? And that's exactly. It's not something they have to like do. Okay, now I have to go attract. It's like no, you see the woman, I'm gonna just go up to her because I find her attractive. This is what a natural does,
Yeah.
right? You handle it and then you move forward. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Hmm.
listen, dude, it's been fantastic talking to you. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say, or where people want to find you. You want to shout out anything, but let them know about yourself there, Josh.
Yeah, sure thing, man. If you're listening and you want to follow more of what I have to say, Pinnacle of Man on YouTube is the YouTube channel. It's the best place. And then if you want to reach me directly, it's pinnacleofman@gmail.com. You can send me an email. I'll have to chat with you.
Awesome, bro. Well, listen, it's been wonderful having a chat. Maybe you'll come do a session of Q&A for the Body Language Mastery uh,
Yeah.
in July for the webinars, and
Hell yeah.
we'll talk to you then. Take care, guys. Peace out.
Thanks. See ya.